Alright, here we have the beginning of BCA-101, and the date, it was week 1. And the date I'm producing this is 1/21/15. Alright, so I'll put this over here and we'll get started. We talked about the 4 major things in terms of technology. We have the hardware, the actual equipment. Okay, in here we use the term devices, and that could be devices anything from, let's say, your smartphone, a tablet, maybe a laptop computer, PC with a hard drive, maybe, like a workstation. We talked then about software. Software makes the hardware work. Okay, software is the key. You'll hear us talk about that throughout the term. Software is the key. Why do some people get an iPhone versus an Android phone, or an Apple tablet, and typically those things have to do with the look and the feel of the device, which is the software. Software programs, apps, nowadays we hear those terms. List of instructions that tell the hardware what to do. Networks, they allow these devices either through the air, or maybe connect it with a wire. They allow them to communicate, share information. And information comes from data. So we take data, and then when we use software to convert the data into something that has meaning to us. We're able to share that. Okay, we're able to share that via networks. They allow us to get information from one location and use it in another. And then finally, the last thing here that we list are people. People create networks, people write software, people develop hardware. We talk about, I'll review a couple things here. Start off with, we talked about a PC, personal computer, workstation, whatever. We mentioned we have a permanent place to store data, hard drives, a DVD. Inside the computer somewhere there is memory. Things have to be in memory in order to be processed, and then we have a processor, what actually does the work on it. And that's true of all devices like smartphones and so forth. Now, smartphone, basically there's a processor in there, and then there's flash memory that works as both the memory and the storage. We connect, for example, in PC 229, the classroom we're at, the computers in there, all of them are connected by some cable to a switch, and that switch is connected by a cable to a multi-layer switch, which is a combination of router and switch. It's a combination. And that's connected by some wire to a router, a routing device. The routing device here on campus then goes through fiber optic to another routing device on campus, and then that, which is fiber, also connects out to our ISP. Our connection to the ISP for the wireless, it's around 140 million bits per second, and for the wired part of the network, it's 200 million bits per second. And we're going to talk a little bit about what bits per second are here in a second. Here on campus, the network main campus here, for example, my.NIACC is here on campus on some server. We have Angels stored here on campus. So when we come in, let's say from home, we can come in from home and actually connect via the internet to those services. You can have a smartphone on campus and connect by the Wi-Fi in the campus. Okay. You can also use a smartphone and connect using your data plan to some tower, which then would connect in eventually to the internet to allow you access to other websites. The internet itself has no data stored in it. It allows us access to data. This is called wireless. This is called wired. And this would be fiber. We have those different options, and the term is used, their medium. They allow us to connect. Being connected to the internet then allows us to connect to other resources. And we talked about some examples the other day. For today, we talked about binary digit is a byte. Okay, in the computer, everything is stored by a combination of, that's a bit. 8 bits gives us a byte. I said that wrong. We use a combination of bits to represent something in the computer. For example, using ASCII code, this combination here represents capital A. We group 8 bits together. We refer to that as a byte, and a byte we usually use to indicate size, like how much storage you have or memory. Okay, so that would be how much like storage a device has or how much memory. Those two would be combined in something like a smartphone. So in your phone, when you buy it, it'll tell you it has so much storage and memory combined. When we talk about moving data in a network, okay, so we have something here and we move it between these two clouds, that's measured, the speed, that's measures how many bits per second, how many of these ones and zeros we can move between those two locations. So bit comes from the term binary digit. 8 bits typically gives us a byte. Everything that is stored when we use the word digital, that's how it's stored. It's stored with the representation of ones and zeros. And that's it.